record. Okay. Namaste, great souls. Always wonderful to practice together and to connect and share. So last week we were flowing with change, and that's always, you know, wonderful idea. And we're gonna take that into our practice of flow practice. Oh, here we go. But also doing a hold practice. So we'll have times of flowing and times of holding the pose and breathing more, because we do get into patterns as well where we feel like we're, you know, stuck in certain processes in our lives, or things are just rigid. So we're going to embody a practice how to integrate both holding and flowing and feeling the difference. So we'll get started. Leela just joined, and I'm hoping it's all well. Okay, sorry, not seeing. Oh, okay, 3 times is a charm. Very good. So welcome. We're going to get started with flowing and holding. And if you could mute yourself, that would be great, Leela, and we'll get started with it. Okay. All right. So again, pick your island as we do our classic exhaling longer. So I'm going to pick a 4, hold the breath to 2, and then exhale to 6 count. See if that works for you a couple rounds. And if it doesn't, the first round, find a pattern that works for you the best. So sitting comfortably, exhaling through the mouth. Close the eyes if you're comfortable. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Focus at the spiritual eye. Exhale through the mouth again. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue. Inhale, belly, heart connection. 3, 4. Gently hold the breath. Spiritual eye focus inwardly. Exhale through the mouth. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do 2 more rounds on your own. Find your pace. Feel the prana kosha, the energy body. We could do a lot to regulate ourselves through our breath. We know this. Exhaling. Most of us enjoy that calming aspect. Sometimes we'll need more energy, and if that's the case, it's an equal breath. And as you're breathing and counting, at some point you may want to let go of the count. You may not want to. You want to tune into the chakras, and just tune in also as we set our intention, our heartfelt desire. What is calling in your heart right now? Perhaps as a quality of this day. Joy, playfulness, ease, soothing. Just notice what comes from your heart. Take that in. We'll return to it again and again. And then we're going to draw the knees in. We're going to have the left foot extended and then the right foot on top. So we're crossing at the ankles here. And we're going to stretch through the hamstrings. And we're going to reach our arms down by our side to open up the spine, open up the chest. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Shoulders press down. And first, with the elongated spine, you can use a strap for your toes or just hold on towards your shins or your knees. Elongate and then round upper back over the legs. Really feel that belly breathing. We can't help but feel that belly breathing and feel sending love there. As we exhale,
And inhale, and just tune into how your mind is feeling right now. On a 0 to 10 scale, 0 to 1, kind of lethargic and hard to get thoughts together. 10, super racy. 5, just, thoughts flowing in and flowing out. Notice where you are mentally at the start of the practice. Because as we inhale, we're going to sweep up. And let the arms come down. This knee that's on top, the right knee, we're going to bend that right knee, bend the left knee, and add a seated twist. So turning from the deep core and bringing your left elbow around the right knee, right hand behind you like a kickstand. Exhale, look over the shoulder. And then ease back on the inhale. So every breath, we're twisting tension out physically, emotionally, psychologically, and replenishing back to our true nature, whole and free. One more time, and tune in as you twist this time. We'll hold it and breathe. Notice how your body's feeling before we do the whole practice. We'll assess at the end. Same scale. 0 to 1, very lethargic, hard to get moving around. 10, super racy, hard to settle down. Or that 5, just kind of flowing and moving one step in front of the other. Give yourself a rating because it can be similar or it can be quite different what's going on in our mind and what's going in our body. We want to tune in and see what we're feeling, what we're experiencing, and knowing that the practice will help balance out and emotionally regulate our nervous system. Coming back. Okay, so this knee that's on top, we're bringing it back here. I'm going to shift a little bit to a knee down side plank. So before we go to the other side, bring your left hand down, left knee touches the earth, stretch the right arm up, the right foot is against the floor, the large toe side of the foot. First, open the heart, head to tail connected, and then extend. And breathe. It's a slight opening toward the sky as we really allow this fountain of energy to radiate through, especially the right side of our body. That solar energy, activating our solar energy. Watch the head doesn't collapse. Align with the spine for 3, 2, 1, and then just reverse it. Sweep that arm around. Come back onto the cheeks. Fold the knee in. We're going to switch. So the left foot is on top. And move the cheeks side to side. So a great way to stretch the hamstrings. We typically do that in down dog, which we'll get to, but this is another great way. If you just find yourself seated somewhere and you want to stretch your hamstrings, just cross at the ankles, hands to the heart. Tune into the spiritual eye, our higher chakras, our wisdom centers. And starting with the straight spine, reaching over. Warming up gradually. As we warm up, we're tuning into where we're at. And the breath. As we exhale, we fold. Letting go what we can. Softening the shoulders, softening the eyes and the jaw. Hear your oceanic breath. Now bring us into the present moment. So many simple things: present moment awareness, breath regulation, nervous system regulation. The brain and the body likes this, to keep returning and keep allowing ourselves to tune in. So that we develop more of a even emotional balance. We will fluctuate up and down, of course. We regulate, we go up, we go down. But as we return
You're getting more of a stabilization over time, and the brain and the body like that. Resetting. Inhale.
Sweep the arms up. Exhale, arms out to the side and bending both knees. And the left knee is upright, the right knee is down. And root down through the sit bones, shoulders away from the ears. Deep twist from the core, right abdomen toward the left. You can hug that left knee in, or you could bring the elbow on the outside. Exhale, twist. Chin parallel to the floor. Inhale, come back. Do this a couple times. Hear the sound. Feel sensation. Go at your pace, your timing. And stay here about 3 times. 3 twists and breathe. Feel the heart expanding more open as the core is more contained. When it's time to come out, you'll know. You'll come back to how we started, lengthen up. And add that knee down, side plank. So this time, the right knee is touching the earth, the right hand down, the left leg extends. Start with the left arm reaching up and then over. I'll walk my hand in a little bit. Now, I didn't say this on the other side. If you wanted to add on, you would lift that left leg. So just see where you're at as you stretch through the lunar side, and the heart radiates gently toward the sky. Open and expansive. For 3, 2, 1. Fountain of infinite power. As we reach up, we come down. Before we go into our vinyasa standing flow, if you can sit like this on your heels, go ahead. Otherwise, cross feet in front of you. And we're going to open the heart, sweep around, interlock, and feel the front, back, and sides of the heart and the throat. Inhale, lengthening up, bringing your left arm around and interlocking here and squeezing the elbows toward one another as we add that back bend. And if your neck's okay, add a neck roll here. So a back bend and a neck roll, small, medium, or large neck roll, you decide. A few times each direction. And if you're okay with this, open up again and then go to the other side. Above that hip bone, squeeze the elbows. Okay, you can stay here or you can add the neck roll. Always listen to your body. Bring up lots of held energy here. Letting go, letting go. Letting go. Oh, great. Okay. And now from here, interlock again. And then release. As promised, we'll go into our flow and then hold. So starting like we do, but we'll do one cat stretch, scooping out low, mid, upper back, getting situated. Exhale, rounded spine. But this time, widen the knees pretty to the outer corners of the mat, the inner borders of the feet together. Sink down into wide child's pose. Spiritual eye opening, maybe touching the blanket or earth, maybe not, but expanding. And here's our flow. So when we flow, we're rounding up again. And we're rippling down into our cobra, mini cobra. Legs are strong, halfway lifting cobra, Bhujangasana, just enough to keep flowing. And then we come back to our widening child's pose. So we'll do this 2 times, rippling, flowing, breathing like a river, moving forward, belly, heart, touch, and then we lift up. Keep the elbows bent, and then we ripple down. But you'll notice you'll need some arm strength to come back to your wide-legged child pose again. And breathe. One more time with the easy flow. Hopefully easy as you ripple down, belly, heart. And inhale, lifting up. Legs are strong. Not just the upper body is active here. Everything's active as we come up enough to flow back. And then we just rest. We take it in. Within every breath lies infinite power. The power to connect back to my true self and yoga that's already whole, already free, already aware. That's our essential nature, or Atman. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to come forward, and we've done this so many times, our cobra pose, locust cobra. So we're going to hold it longer. So first we're going to do the lift series, meaning the locust series. We're going to lift our legs, lift our arms, lift our chest, and lift our heart and our head. Several breaths. We're not really holding, but we're staying and breathing. And in this one position, recharging, especially the central channel, where the main chakras are needing to be activated in the right direction. And then we rest for a moment, stacking the hands, resting and breathing. Full yogic breath, belly, heart, crown expands, crown, heart, belly, feet. And then we'll rise into our Bhujangasana, our cobra. And I'm saying hold just to make the difference between flow and hold, staying with the pose for 3 to 5 breaths. Inhale, rise up, either arms straight or elbows bent, lion's breath. I open to the opportunities of this day. I'm going to turn a little bit to the side. 3 to 4 to 5 breaths. I open. Moment to moment. And this day, what this day will bring. Okay, from here we come back. Rounded cat. Opposite of our back bend. Drawing in. Nice long neck and spine. Scooping to fit and feel the neutral spine. Toes are turned under, hover off of the knees. And pour back to our wonderful full body stretch. Really luxuriate in our downward facing dog. I like to tread it out. See what feels good to you. Maybe going side to side with the hips. Keep the inner thighs rolling back and in. That will open the heart more, magnetizing the heart toward the thighs, pressing into the base of the fingers as we feel that calm energy or peace radiating
through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Now, if you want it to ripple, this is, so we're holding and breathing, but we're flowing. So we create that rounded, gentle, rounded spine to our plank. And then we bend our knees and ripple back. So flowing with change. Sometimes we feel like we're holding, we're stuck, but we can add that flow. And if we do feel like we're in a holding, stuck, we could breathe into even that. Take a few breaths here and plank, strengthening, and then flowing. So even when we feel times stuck, we can breathe, and that will help tremendously. Make small circles at the head. And step 1 foot forward, then the opposite, then the one hand, then the other. Uttanasana, forward fold. See what works for you today. I'm going to rest the palms up at the hollows of the elbows, yield into the earth with all the 4 points of the feet. Outer inner heels, outer inner ball of the foot. And we want to scratch and massage the scalp. Awake my brain. Be wise, be strong. Awake my brain. Be wise, be strong. Now, as we come up in our Uttanasana chair pose, we're going to bend the knees. We're going to flow. We're going to sweep the arms up. And then flow down, but this time as we flow down, we're tapping into the spiritual eye, we're tapping into the heart center, and we're sweeping the arms back. And then we flow, we sweep the arms up, we pulse, a couple breaths. And then as we rise up, we're going to hold a couple breaths in our chair. So we're going to bring the knuckles to the spiritual eye, bend the knees again. Couple breaths. And then hands to Namaste heart. If we're feeling holding, we could bring our hands to our heart and breathe. That would be fantastic. And then sweeping back and flowing upward. So we have these moments of staying with it and between our flow. Coming into mountain pose. It's been said many times in the yoga tradition, this pose in Shavasana could be most difficult. Just really be present with our whole body. Yielding into the earth. And yet connected to the sky and everything in between. Release the hands, feel the space all around you, swirl it, enjoy it. We're cleaning inside and our aura. Very good. Okay, so I'm going to take a sip of water here, hydrating in so many ways. Okay, I think I'm going to bring my blanket out to the side because we're keep it close by. See what works for you as we move into our Virabhadrasana 1 and 2. If you want to, some of you had suggested using, would like to use some strength training with some weights. You can grab your weights, or you can go freestyle. We're going to step our right foot back, left foot toes forward, root down. Feel the support of the earth.
As you inhale, we're going to flow. We're going to reach up with the arms, extend the arms overhead. I attune my will to the source of all power. So we're flowing with the arms, but we're keeping our legs strong. I attune my will to the source of all power. We're going to do 3 flows with the arms. Breathing in, breathing out. And then we're going to do a hold. So you can either try holding the weights like this or put them down. And 3 breaths here. I attune my will to the source of all power. Okay. And now we're going to flow into, you can use the weights. I'll show you to Warrior 2. A little trickier with the weights, but we can do it. Bend your left knee. Right leg is straight. And we come out to the side, looking over your left hand. Okay. As I joyfully manifest the power of the divine that's within me, I joyfully manifest the power of the divine within me and all around me. Now I'm going to put the weights down and open up even deeper by wrapping the right arm around, the left arm up, and then cartwheeling the arms around into our deep lunge. So coming off of that back heel, coming on top of the right knee, shimmy shaking the hips open, luxuriating in that flow. Very good. So notice if the holds feel good, if the flow feels good today, both. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn that right toe under, step it back to down dog, shred it out. Now you choose if you want to hold with stability or if you want to go into your classic vinyasa flow. And which flow do you want to do? Do you want to do the rippling one where you kind of just sweep through into your cobra? You want to ripple back and open into child's or prayer pose. Either way, you might be still in down dog. And we're going to meet there, affirming calmness radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. And of course, we're stepping 1 foot forward, then the other. And turn the palms up if you can. Reach underneath the soles of the feet to release that pressure off the wrist. We'll do another one to release any pressure build up there. Deep exhale, navel to the spine. Crown of the head toward the earth. Letting go of unnecessary mental burdens. And our flowing chair pose. Bend the knees, strength, and fluidity. As we sweep up, we tap into the spiritual eye, tap into the heart center, upper chakras, and come all the way back to our mountain pose. If you want to flow, feel free to. At some point, we'll find our rootedness, our ground, our stability, and our lengthening up.
Okay, warrior Virabhadrasana 1 and 2 to the other side. So I'm purposely not going to use my weights to show a hand movement. We could do a wrist release, but if you're feeling like you want more of that strengthening of the bones, feel free for sure. So Virabhadrasana 1, let me face this way so it doesn't get confusing. The right foot forward, the left foot back. Track that knee over the second toe, the physical alignment principles we know, but they're good to repeat. So sweeping the arms up, but then reaching out in front of you. And now peel the left hand pushes the right fingertips back. Couple breaths this way. As we're still, and then the other hand, attune my will to the source of all power. But then we also press down. So we're also pressing down. So if you're feeling like you want more wrist release, you can always be creative with all the poses, but just making sure in Virabhadrasana 1, we're stable in the legs. And I attune my will to the source of all power. We want to reach your arms out to the side. All right, and then we take it and we sweep up into Virabhadrasana 2. So not to have my back face you, I'll come to the side. We're feeling the strength poses, right? Okay. All right, inhale. Let's bring the arms overhead this time. Exhaling, looking over the right fingertips as I joyfully manifest the power of the divine within me, and I recognize that all around me. The yogis are, in the scriptures of the yogis, it's always pointing to that divine, returning to it within, noticing our ego self and our prana self and our psychological self, but from that point of the Atman, from that point of our spiritual center, ideally. And we get caught, of course, but we could come back. All right, we wrap and open, keep that knee drawn back, open the side body, root down a little bit more. Yes. And then cartwheel the arms into our deep lunge. Ooh, spin off that back heel, widen this right foot maybe, hip on top of the left knee, and shimmy shake the hips open. More and more fluidity in our body, especially the hips. The hamstring. So whole body stretch in these poses we're doing. Okay, let's turn the toes under, the back toes of the left foot under, step it back to our front, the down dog again. You guessed it, flowing or holding, or a combo of both. I'm gonna add a couple ripples. So I'm gonna ripple and roll. Oh, I'm feeling what you want to do now. You can always rest in child's pose. And keep magnetizing the heart toward the thighs as you allow that liquid peace to radiate through every cell of your body, every fiber of your being. Ooh, very good. Stepping one foot forward, then the other. And then one hand toward the other. We're not going to stay here too long in Uttanasana. We're just enough to ease side to side. That's it. Bending the knees, you guessed it, emphasis on chair, strength, and flow. So sweep up, and then we sweep back. Sweep up,
and sweep back. Now one more time, sweep up. Focusing now on the crown, tapping the crown for a moment. Our spiritual eye and the heart center. Lift the toes if you can. And then plant the toes as we come up. That's strong. Feel the space all around as well as within. Divine life is within me and all around me. If you can, sweep the arms toward the shoulders. Great. Take a moment, feel the reset now. Noticing, tune in. I think we're, look at the time, halfway through. Let's check into our mind and body. Where is our mind at now on that scale of 1 to 10? Where's my body right now? That scale of 1 to 10. Remember, 1, 0, 1, lethargic, 10, super racy, 5, nice and balanced. So first I'm feeling, of course, the energy flow, the heat, but then there's a calmness within that clear flowing energy. My experience right now, tune into yours. Okay. So we're ready for our side stretch balance series. So if you would like a block at this time, go ahead and grab a block. Because we're going to go into our Trikonasana and then extended leg half moon pose. So we know this one. We're going wide with our feet and legs, turning the left toes out, opening the heart, opening the joy kosha. Maybe that was part of what your heartfelt desire wanted, more joy. Let's see. Opening to the side. So let's flow one time, meaning coming into Trikonasana, just kind of tasting it, head to tail connected, not holding or staying long, just to see the difference. I'm going to bend my knee a little bit to come up and open up. just enough space. And now we'll hold it longer. We'll come over. I might use my weight here as a block. I'm going to put it on the instep. And opening into mudra, thumb, index finger, head to tail connected. Energy and joy. Fill my body cells. Energy and joy. Fill my body cells. Now I'm going to flow with my arm, opening up the shoulder joint, circling around. You're welcome to hold or flow. Just 2 or 3 times. Prepping for our balance pose. Wrapping the right arm gently around, looking over the left shoulder. Now this is where we take our block, or in this case the weight, diagonal to the little toe side of the foot. Step that back foot in. Look at and point in front. I'm kind of looking toward the front of my mat as I lift off. As I expand fully into this moment. Maybe unraveling that arm. Maybe starting to look forward to the, maybe not, if that's thrown off your balance. Moment to moment awareness, direct perception of this moment will help us stay present as we come down. Step that foot down, and then we're going to sweep up. Sweep the arm up, flow. That's it. Come to center. Before we go to the other side,
Let's do our extended leg pose, Prasarita Padottanasana. Hinging at the hips, coming forward.
Let's this time clasp the ankles, exhale. Navel toward the spine, crown of the head toward the earth. Again and again, any unnecessary burdens, any unnecessary suffering where we're adding on to something that's difficult. We all have times in our lives it's difficult, but trying to let go where we can and not add on to it. And then hands underneath the shoulders, heel, come in into a squat.
So we're rising up into our goddess squat. Exhale, root down. And we'll add that twist. So left elbow straightens, right elbow bends as you look over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center, root down. Left elbow bends, right elbow straightens, look over. Bring down as much as possible, back to center. Excellent. Star pose. Expansive. And then we go right into our Trikonasana. So I'm going to bring a block over this time because the weight work, but is more stable. Great. It's already precarious to balance. We don't want to add on unless you like that kind of thing. All right. Right toes out, left toes in, 30 degrees, flowing heart chakra. We know what we do with our hands is connected to the heart. One time of flow before we stay with it, just to get that sense of opening to the side, just a taste. And then we come up. You can bend your knee if you like. Opening both sides, but especially this right. And we want to keep that right side open as we reach over and easing down. Don't just collapse onto the block. Just your strength is happening through all the cells of the body as we affirm energy and joy. Fill my body cells. Energy and joy. Fill my body cells. Head to tail connected, maybe adding the flow of the shoulder. Maybe staying with that stability. Definitely stability in the legs and the spine. Getting ready for our balance pose. Wrapping the left arm around. Bending the right knee. And place your block diagonal to the little toe side of the foot. I need to back it up or so I'm gonna just enough room here. We're gonna step the left foot in. We're gonna look in front of the right toes, lifting off. In our balance pose, one-legged half moon. Opening perhaps that arm to the sky. Keep strong through both legs as I expand fully into this moment. Moment to moment awareness. Now notice when you peel the toes back of the left foot, if you like that, or you peel the toes forward, or somewhere in between. All is valid. I'm just opening different parts of the hamstring. When it's time to come out, you'll know. You'll come down and reverse it. Bending your right knee. Sweeping up. Coming to the side again in our star pose. Wide open heart. And let's bring our hands to the heart. Let's step our feet in. And just feel our mountain pose, earth underneath us, yield and really feel those tendrils, not only the soles of the feet, but the sacrum drawing down. Feeling grounded, supported. And then from that ground molten center, the energy rises back up through the legs, the central channel, through the crown of the head to the sky. There's a lot of different pranayams, so many in yoga. One kriya is to feel the connection to the sky as we open our heart, okay? And then sometimes we need that healthy boundary with others. So this kind of embodies the opening and the boundary and the containment of the heart. So just know that mudras and breath work, we know they're very powerful, but it's our toolbox of when we need which ones. And this is a great one to embody at times. Okay, let's come down to the floor. I'm going to put another drink of water. And we're going to do this gracefully. Check the time. Okay. Move the weights out to the side. Very good. All right, when we come down, get the props out of the way. I'd like to do a pigeon series. So when you're down on the ground already, we could bend the right knee, but if you haven't touched the earth yet, let's reach back into our down dog and lift that right leg up. Look at the space between the hands and bring the right knee through. I'm going to face this direction. Left leg slides back. We're rocking side to side on our hips. We're on top of that left knee. Now we're upright and we're breathing. Back bend, deep hip opener, and then we melt down. We melt down. You can use a blanket or your rest here at the spiritual eye. Soften the shoulders. Open the back of the heart as much as possible. In this moment, letting go of the past, future, resting in the eternal now. See if we can relax and soothe and rest in the eternal now, right now. Can we rest into it? Okay, it's tempting to keep resting, but we're going to keep flowing. Come on up, hands underneath the shoulders. Should we shake the heart? And then you guessed it, left toes turn under. We step it back. Tread it out for really enjoy our down dog and that lift off of the three-legged dog. If possible, the left leg reaches up, right heel roots down, the left shoulder toward the earth. Bend the left knee toward the chest and bring the knee between the hands and slide that right leg back. Get set up here. I'm going side to side with both my hips and shoulders. You see what kind of flow you would like. Or maybe you want more stability. Okay. Flowing, then I'm finding more stability here. And I'm visualizing the chakras, those lotus petals, the main ones opening up, the 7 main ones through the central channel of the spine. And then we ripple down, stack the other hand on top if you can remember,
Resting at the point between the eyebrows. The two become one. The two eyes become one. Literally opening to our wisdom self. And, you know, the brain goes future and past as just part of its operation manual, but now we're using our wisdom to rest in this present moment, releasing the past, releasing the future, resting in the eternal now. Even if it's for a moment of even a breath or a half breath cycle. Just meditate on the breath. And when it's time, we're going to rise up. We're going to come back up into our Ekapada Rajakapatanasana, our royal pigeon pose. We're going to come onto that left cheek and sweep this little right leg open before we go on our back. And then the left, if you want to sit on a blanket, you're welcome to. And we were doing this pose standing. Now we're doing it seated. We're hinging at the hips. Maybe you can reach one foot toward the toes or the shins or the knees. Elongate the spine. And then see if you can round. Remember way back when we started class, we had one leg on top of the other. Now both hamstrings are fully extended. Within every breath lies infinite power. Power to return to my highest nature, my wisdom self. We're training ourselves and our psychological, it gets, you know, it's kind of scary with some more anxiety than we would like, or depression, or any of those fluctuations and moods. And we can flow, we can breathe, we can learn to reset our nervous system. And they've studied this 2 to 3 times as best of yoga practice for just 15 minutes a week is going to help that regulation of the nervous system. So over and over again, that's what our brain body likes, not these massive changes, but these gradual changes to come back, to come back. And that's what we're doing every time we practice. Soles of the feet together, butterfly. And thanks to all of you who are on the calls for years now. You have contributed to make this possible for others as well. So you could tap into classes on YouTube when you would like. Okay, to get those 2 to 3 times a week, or we're simply doing very powerful, the restorative poses, the breath work, and putting ourselves in position, which we'll be doing very soon here. We're drawing the knees in. We're going to gradually come down onto our back, take our time. So first the heart lifts, and then we round using the core strength. Shimmy, shake down. Low, mid, upper back. Press through the feet. Feel the space all around you as well as within you. Scoot up. Hug those knees in. Open up. Inner borders of the feet together, knees apart. 3 times in each direction. Now a little differently on our core strengthening, we're going to bring our hands underneath our low back. And we're going to extend the legs up. And then if possible, slowly lower down.
Could be several breath cycles here. Once the heels almost touch, we bend the knees into the butterfly out to the side again, but then bring the feet together, extended and elongated. So we're going to do 2 more of these if possible. I'm exhaling through the mouth. It's strong. You can't help but feel this. Bending the knees out to the side. And then the legs extend. So give them 3 breath cycles to get here. No problem. Whatever it is for you, that's your pattern. Now, when the legs come up again, just shake them out. Shake them out. Just can't help but do a bridge, bending the knees and planting the feet a little, not too much wider than hip width apart. Large toes turned in, root down through the spine at first before we lift off, meaning the hips come up. Rolling one shoulder, then the other underneath you. Magnetize those inner thighs. Staying here, or maybe interlocking. Every thought can be a bridge back to my true self. We find ourselves going away, we go in, we go out, we can come back. Every thought, we can bring ourselves back. True nature. Already whole, already free. Now I'm going to take the hands and make that circle of the plate. Helps to the shoulders, the scapula. And then you decide if your arms want to reach behind you or down by your sides. More intense to bring the arms up overhead as we melt the upper, mid, and low back down. Sacrum touches. Squeeze those knees in, hug them into the shoulders. Thank you, body, for all you can do, for showing up today. And showing up in all the ways you do. And resting as well, which we'll do very shortly as we go in first into happy baby. Moving from the right corner of the abdomen to the opposite. Let the head relax and neck relax. And see if this is okay for your low back to lie down in Supta Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. If this is too much on your low back, you can bring your inner knees together like this, feet wider. We're going to place one hand on the belly, the other hand on the heart. And connect with every breath to our lotus petals in the chakras. First, second chakra, safety, security, creativity, sensuality. Fourth, loving compassion. But it also could be attachment. We talked about that last week. Holding on too much. See how we could just flow with the breath. And what my heart is telling me as I tune in, it's like, oh, I want even deeper back bend. You could stay here or we could go into fish, Matsyendrasana, before we go into relaxation, Shavasana. So my body's saying, oh yeah, I want more heart opening. So what I'm going to do is draw the knees in and extend the legs, and I'm going to reach one forearm underneath my one cheek and then the other forearm underneath the other, palms face down. Arc the spine and come lightly onto the back of the head. Inhale and breathe. It's a lot if you have neck stuff, so I wouldn't recommend this if it's a serious neck situation. My soul floats on waves of cosmic light. My soul floats on waves of cosmic light. We decide when it's time to come out after we held it and to ease out and melting down. If you're wearing fish, go ahead and bend one knee, then the other to come out and hug those knees in again. Give yourself a nice hug as well. Another time. Rocking side to side. Move the ankles around, and you're going to tune in to what would feel best for Shavasana, restoration. We've said it many times. We're down to who we think we are, and corpse poses are only our individual psychological, emotional self. Yes, we're in this body, we're in this form, but we're not only that. Okay, we can let that rest. You can do many restorative poses. I'm gonna maybe suggest that this, you have two blocks and want that nudging of the back of the heart open to put them in the L shape, and right at the back of the heart, sometimes it's too much to have this hard block, so you could soften it with a blanket. So right at the back of the heart, and then the head rests. If your hips are okay, you can go into butterfly, or you may want to extend the legs. So if you're wanting more of that heart opener or bolster or legs up the wall, you know your body, what it's wanting right now. Get cozy, get comfortable, as we really just, and if, I don't know if you've got nature sounds at home or any music you may be listening to as we're going here. That's always lovely. All right, so as we get settled in, I'm going to use some ideas from Miranda McPherson. She's a wonderful meditator. This is a Be As You Are meditation. So depending how you're positioned, you could perhaps ease the head from side to side. Find where the head just naturally aligns with the spine. And the invitation is to simply be as you are. Receiving the floor as it holds you. And notice how the breath is always rising and falling by itself. We could tune into that and use different breath practices like we started with. Or you can just let it rise and fall on its own. Allowing the invitation of the exhalation to let the surface activity melt. Just as ice melts in the warmth of the sun. Softening the eyes, softening the jaw.
Feel on the next inhale the cool air coming in through both nostrils and coolness at the spiritual eye. Like a window opening and warm cooked air coming out of the nostrils. A window of light. Hear that oceanic sound, most audible at the hollow of the throat. If thoughts come in, just note them and let them go out. That's what they do. Anything you think you need to do or achieve or prepare for, just let them soften down. Know that you'll get to them, whatever is needed today, moment by moment. Softening the shoulders. Feeling that radiant sensation streamlining down both arms. Energy pulsing in the palms of the hands, digits of the fingers. Dropping deep into the heart and breathing, allowing space there. It's a place where emotions come and go quite a bit. Let those melt now. I'm not changing or following them or resolving them at this point. We're just breathing and being. Relaxing all control. All seeking to get anywhere. Just be here. In a field of unconditional love. Just like the atmosphere allows for all life forms, we're allowing everything to be here. Breathing deep into the lungs, the belly, the ribs, and just allowing the breath to rise and fall, which it does. Sometimes their heart feels like it needs armoring and strategies and boundaries, which it does at times, but for now, see if we can let those go. Relaxing the cheeks, thighs, the knees, the calves, ankles, all the way through the soles of the feet, the digits of the toes. Relaxed, yet aware. Again and again, returning to your true nature, already whole, already free, already aware.
Just notice if this is a time for you to stay in restoration longer and deep absorption, or if it's time to transition into movement. And we do that usually by wiggling the fingers and toes, resting eventually on our side. Typically the right side, more restful for the heart, and the fetal pose. Really appreciating the nourishment, the deep nourishment that you've given yourself in the practice today. And we know that you find emotional balance. It's wonderful. Our practice does that, but we'll also probably throughout the day lose it, return, find it again. It's a fluctuation, but we can return. It's really, really important to know that. And we're going to send healing energy to others, visualizing them at the spiritual eye. And through the 3-syllable Om sound, I rub my hands together to generate heat. You're welcome to do that or not. Inhaling. And bringing the hands in Namaste, acknowledging the divine within everyone and everything. That's where we are one. Bowing to the wisdom of the heart, letting it lead the way. Hopefully for the rest of our days, and we return, we go back, all that stuff. And I'm going to end the recording portion of this. Let's see.